This video was sponsored by PowerCircle Clothing and Headbusters Food Company in association with Cook Up Unlimited.
Cook up!
It's not a podcast.
Yo, Dennis here back with another episode of This Is Not a Podcast. Y'all already know what the lick read. Make sure y'all like and subscribe and hit that notification button. It's greatly appreciated. And please watch the video to the end. It definitely helps the algorithm. Let's start the show. Dennis here back with another episode of This Is Not a Podcast. Y'all already know what the lick read. Make sure y'all like and subscribe and hit that notification button. It's greatly appreciated. So, hey, you right there, you. Watch the videos to the end. So I'm out and about today. Decided to kick it with the kiddos. Wave to the camera. Alright, so I'm kicking it with my kids. They playing. They just got done filming a cool vlog. We came up with a skit. So make sure y'all go to my kids' channel, Hannah and Chloe, and go check that out. All the kids report to their channel. I'm gonna definitely let y'all know because we've been working really hard on this. So right now, we just wrapped it up. They out here playing and having a good time before we go back in because I gotta cook some dinner. Y'all don't see my wife. My wife is up currently in Chicago right now, out of town. I'm pretty sure she vlogging. She went to go see the grandbaby while I hold it down with the kids, So today, we getting close to the holiday season. Those of y'all that celebrate the holidays, which is Christmas. Christmas is pretty much next week. All the kids is looking forward to presents and all the things that come with the Christmas, with the Christmas holiday and everything like that. Now, I decided that given it all the negativity, put your shoes on. Put your shoes on. This ain't carpet. Anyway, I've been getting a lot of negativity, a lot of negative stuff going on back home in Chicago right now. And I just want to send my thoughts and prayers out to everybody back home in Chicago that's out there moving and grooving these holidays. First of all, I want everybody to be safe because as y'all know, this the season. Y'all already know how that goes. For everybody at home, I'm pretty sure this is universal everywhere we go. 'Tis the season. Y'all know what that means, right? That's when all the riffraff start to, come out, because a lot of people out there starving, a lot of people out there hungry. And, they get caught up in this whole web with, when it's Christmas time, your kids want the latest, greatest, the new Jordan 1s, or they want an Xbox X, or they want a PS5, or they want a Nintendo Switch, they want a Tesla under the tree, they want all type of stuff. So sometimes, that could be stressful, especially, if you let that get to you. And, that's not the reason why we really celebrate Christmas. Or for those of you that celebrate Christmas, that's not how it really goes, you know what I mean? So, you got to do what you can. So I got some stories that I could tell you about a lot of Christmases that I didn't get what I wanted. But we're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus on the positive stuff, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to hit y'all with a cool Christmas story. Like I was saying, man, this the season. So, it's a lot of robbing and stealing going on. It's a lot of carjacking back home. It's a lot of crazy stuff going on right now. But what we want to do is we want to focus on the positive right now. So we don't want to keep dwelling on the negative. We would much rather dwell on the positive. A lot of things we used to do back in the day, like we used to go outside. So that's why we outside with it. So I got my kids there at the park having a good time blowing off some steam because, my kids still do virtual learning. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going. I ain't really get over the hump of letting my kids go to public school. When they go out, it hit different. Hey, what y'all doing? Calm down. See what I mean? I'm on parent alert right now. So, they just all over the place. So pardon me if I stop hearing them. It's because I'm watching my kids, run around and play. So my fun this Christmas, it didn't really have nothing to do with a gift at all, But I definitely remember those times. Like, these are the times where you really create memories with your kids. Like, I just so happen to have a cool set of kids, you know what I'm saying? They nothing like me when I was coming up. Definitely not. I mean, they good kids, they get good grades, they do all that stuff. Just like, you want your children and do all that stuff, right? And I myself, I wasn't a bad kid neither. Sometimes when the kids get their Christmas list together and I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. Well, I'm fortunate enough to where my kids get so much stuff to where they get what they get what they want and what they need. They don't really kill me too much because they'll say, well, this year I don't really want too much. Like, I ain't never heard too many kids say, you know what, I really don't need that much. Just give me this and give me that and I'm decent. You know what I'm saying? We ain't never told them you couldn't get this, you couldn't get that. We always made it happen to where, I'm going to get whatever they need or whatever they want. I'm going to hit y'all with a cool Christmas story. Like, I remember this is the stuff we used to do when I was coming up. I always said, when I was younger, I felt like, my childhood was like living a double life. I spent just as much as my life in a small village just outside Chicago, Robbins, Illinois. A lot of y'all might have heard about it if y'all Dwayne Wade fans out there. Y'all know he always said, if y'all heard that classic commercial, from Robbins, Illinois, Dwayne Wade. Yeah, that place. Since y'all right here, y'all might as well go ahead and check out the docuseries, The Mud. I got 2 episodes out there right now. Y'all can go ahead and catch up on those real quick before episodes 3 and 4 drop, because they are on the way. Not too much of a delay. We just like to do things in order and obedience. But right now, I need y'all to watch these videos to the end, man, because it's like, I don't want to feel like I'm putting out these videos for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of this content, sometimes us content creators, we feel like the content goes in vain when we put out stuff like this. But anyway, my childhood was like a double lifestyle. Back in Robbins, we did things like how it would normally do on Thanksgiving. Like, it was kind of a tradition almost, like on Christmas time or around Christmas time, you always got that good Christmas snow for the year. So if it snowed on Christmas or around Christmas or after Christmas, preferably like Christmas Day or whatever, even if it didn't, we played football, followed by, after Christmas dinner and all that, you spend all that time with your family. Later on that night though, you went to a party. So I think I kind of touched on this stuff if y'all watched the episode of my sneaker diaries where I told a fascinating story about the Jordan 11s, the patent leather joints, the first ones that came out. All right, I told a cool story. Don't mess with that sign, boy. I told a cool story about my auntie Shell, the 2 of the coolest shoes that was out at that time. Y'all can go check that out. I feel like I'm cross-promoting, but it all makes sense. I need the watch time, so hey, you can, everything that I'm saying right now, I can tie these videos in with that, you know what I mean? And I was talking about Christmas and how our Christmases used to be lit. So I'm finna tell another story on the flip side. That was like my daddy's side of the family. Now I'm finna tell you, I'm gonna use this Christmas story to tell you about how we spent Christmas on my mother's side of the family. Now, back in Robbins, it was like going out, it was like down south. So it was like the great outdoors, if I can explain it. It was like going down south. Like, even though, for those of y'all that never frequented Harvey or any of the south suburbs outside of Chicago, or even in Chicago, y'all know it's a big city. In between that, it's a few nuggets there. And Robbins is one of those gems that you got a chance to experience the country life if you've never been to the country. If you've never been down south, it was like going down south. We did a lot of great outdoor type stuff. So, like, from playing football, you got dirty. You weren't afraid to get dirty. You wasn't trying to get fresh. You put your fresh clothes on later on that night, you know what I'm saying? But in the daytime, man, you got a chance to, play sports. Do all the stuff boys did back then. Build clubhouses or check on your clubhouses if you had one built. You got a chance to just do like little outdoor stuff that you could think of. We used to be getting into everything. We had a ball. We did something we did called, like, back in the trailer courts, we used to do this thing called skitching. In the hood, they call it skeeching. Now, basically, that's what you do is you would get the lid of a garbage can, right? Put it underneath you. If you got a tote, get the lid off a tote, and you sit that underneath you, and it'd be like snow on it. You gotta wait till there's snow on the ground. And then the trailers, they had these speed bumps. So you had no choice but to drive a certain type of speed, especially in the snow. So what we would do is you would get underneath behind a car bumper, hold onto the car with your hand, and just slide. Like, even if you lose the top, you see kids just, it's the most dangerous thing. Some people think that's the most stupidest thing to do, but believe it or not, we did a lot of fun things in the hood. You hear people grabbing on the bumpers and you just see kids just sliding off your bumper. So I know they had to have been like something crazy. I do not urge you kids to skeech though. Kids out there, do not try this at home. I'm just telling you my story. Back then, grab them on the bumper and just skeech around. Like, so when you go down each row in the trailers, it was these little speed bumps. So that's what made it fun. And we used to have, who could stay on the longest. You might have 2-3 people at a time on the back of a bumper. It was like hood skin, you know what I'm saying? So we would do that. You never told your mama about that stuff. And if your parents did know, I'm pretty sure like a lot of my friends got whoopings doing it prior. And then I guess their parents just finally just gave up and just let them do it anyway because they weren't gonna stop. So it was just like one of them things, was just like the hoodest thing in the world. Like, even back then, I mean, we did it all, bro. I mean, like, if you wanted to have good, clean fun, you didn't have to worry about your kids. There wasn't no weird stuff happening in the village. And if anything went down, you definitely knew who did it and who. It definitely, you wasn't getting far. That's, believe that. Thankfully, we never had to worry about none of that weirdo stuff. And that had nothing to do with gifts or anything like that. It was never a question like, man, what you get for Christmas? All that stuff went on in school, but so even like back then, like, we didn't care about what you got for Christmas. I mean, if somebody got the newest game, the latest, greatest game that came out on that specific system, for that era. And at that time, we had Super Nintendo. For all my Super Nintendo, you had your homies with the Super Nintendo. I was Team Sega Genesis. And then that was like, way before the PlayStations and all that stuff came out. You either had one or two things. And if you was a little bit bougier, you had a Neo Geo or something like that. You know what I mean? But we didn't really care. We only had like one homie that had the Neo Geo, and my uncle had one. We didn't care. Everybody else, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo. You know what I'm saying? You know the protocol. So whatever latest greatest game was out there, you know, over your homie's house and played it if you didn't have it. 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be a football game, a fighting game, a basketball game, because you know those type of games go all year round, whatever's coming out. So anyway, we more so enjoyed the simple things in life. We didn't really care about all the extra stuff. And we didn't care about what kind of shoes you got, what type of drip you had, because all that didn't come into play until you went out anyway. That's when, you know, as preteens, teenagers, that's the only time you was judged by your friends and your peers. When you went out, if it was on a Saturday night, you went to Markham Skating Rink. Shouts out to Markham Skating Rink. That's what it was all about. Everything, all roads led up to Saturday night. Wherever Saturday fell on, that's what all roads led to. That's where you show if you got Christmas clothes, you probably wore them then. We didn't really waste our outfits on no Christmas Day. I mean, unless, you know, if you was at my daddy's side of the family, you had to dress up. You had to be on your best. You had to look clean. You wasn't getting dirty whatsoever, because you was going out that night and you just not finna embarrass nobody. But on my mama's side, you can get as dirty as you want because they allow you to be kids. Like we was allowed to go outside and do our thing. Not that we didn't go outside on my daddy's side, but we did. But image was everything. That side of the family, we care more about fashion, appearance, the way you look. You couldn't get dirty. If you did, we gonna talk about you before anybody else will. I mean, trust me. They gonna make you feel bad. My daddy will make you feel bad, 'cause my daddy is a neat freak. You would think he got OCD. Like where my granny raised us and how we was taught, we cleaned up every day. She kept a clean house you can eat off the floor. And our kids, no different. That's how they keep a house. You know, on my mama's side, you know, they let you go with a little bit. You had to clean up, but you still got a chance to get dirty, so to speak. You got a chance to do what kids do, man. You know, scuff your shoes up. Tell you how you play clothes. You know, But you bet not. But on my daddy's side, it wasn't none of that. You better not mess your good clothes up, or you gonna get knocked out. We gonna say that other story for another day, you know, as far as that goes. But that's like one of my fondest Christmas, you know, Christmas at mom's crib. You know, we had the Christmas dinner, you know, your traditional turkey dressing, greens, mac and cheese, all that cool stuff. Nothing too out of the ordinary at mom. She was more the traditional kind. My pops, we didn't really get off into the Christmas trees. You know, like I said, man, I was raised a little different. So it's like, you know, we celebrated Christmas on both sides, but we just did it in an unconventional way with my pops, because, you know, like my pops, he didn't care about the Christmas. That's why I'm kind of more so like that. Like I don't do the Christmas tree thing. My kids love it, so they do that. My wife, they do that. I don't do none of that Christmas tree stuff. Sorry, kids, ladies and gentlemen, I don't really get off into that. I got my reasons for that. And, you know, part of that, like my pops, you know, he kind of, you know, like when it was Christmas time, it's time to break out the gifts. He wasn't gonna wrap. You lucky if he wrapped something. Like I was like that too. Like, what's the point of tearing the house up, wrapping up paper for? Let's just get to the yams. He knew how to hit. He had the gifts, throw them out that midnight. Ain't none of that, all that suspense. Only gifts he wrapped up is the ones like when you had to take them over granny crib and you had to give out the gifts for the nieces, nephews, and aunts and that type of thing. He wrapped those gifts up. But as far as mine, oh man, had them joints somewhere in the closet, wherever he had it, we ain't looking for nothing. So, you know, you gonna lay it out on the couch, get what you gonna get, boom. You know, that was that, you know, man. So that was like my Christmas, you know. But my mom, Christmas tree up after Thanksgiving, gifts under the tree for the kids or whatnot. It was like more traditional. My step pop, like they was more like Mr. Christmas. Right off the bat. I'm talking about the man found a radio station that played Christmas songs like 24 hours straight. Like the radio don't come on. I'm talking about straight ambiance. I'm talking about like you gonna think you wanna go into Sears, Kmart, Montgomery Ward. You gonna think you in one of them, Macy's, playing that Christmas music. You think he found a radio station there, real, playing everything from Bing Crosby, Nat King Cole, Andy Williams. Like I'm talking about over and over again. Like that's a whole nother story, man. I'm gonna drop. We gonna talk about that. That's like a lot of my musical taste. We're gonna talk about that. That's gonna be a good vlog. Make sure you like and subscribe, hit that notification button. I know I'm rambling, so I'm gonna leave it there. And as always, keep God first, stay sucker free, and by all means, get to the money. Peace and love, stay healthy, and I'm out. Peace.